Hello, friends. You've stumbled across a short clip from the Daily Switch 2 podcast, which, believe it or not, is a podcast that is about the Switch 2 with new episodes released daily. What will they think of next? So, the first thing that I noticed when first booting up the game was just how well DK controls. It's weird. You'd think the first thing that would stand out to me is the stunning graphics, and we will get to them, but I guess I already knew the graphics were stunningly good, but what I wasn't prepared for was just how good it would feel once I was actually controlling them in real time. It sent me right back to 1995 when I first saw Violet Berlin playing the Shoshinkai Floor preview of Mario 64, and I fell in love with the game. Also fell in love with Violet Berlin, by the way, and I've recently worked with her, and I've got to say she's absolutely lovely. For those of you who know who she is, people in the UK of a certain age will definitely know Violet Berlin. But anyway, I had to wait 2 whole years after watching that preview before the game finally released in the UK, and I picked it up on launch day. Then, after all that time imagining what it would be like to play, staring at screenshots and wearing out VHS tapes of gameplay that I had, suddenly actually holding the controller in my hand and moving Mario around for myself was actually a surreal experience. To this day, I've always claimed that Mario 64 is simply the best controlling 3D platformer. Obviously not talking about the camera, just controlling Mario. Sure, I love many 3D Sonic games, Banjo-Kazooie, Spyro, Crash Bandicoot, Astrobot. I even love the tank controls of the original Croc and triangle-boobed Tomb Raider. No idea why I censored myself and didn't go with the obvious alliteration there. I guess I'm just classy like that. To the 9% or so of my audience that are non-male, you are welcome. Clearly, I'm not as misogynistic as the aforementioned music video may have led you to believe. Sorry about that. I mean, I'm not sorry. She's an institution. C'est pas ma faute. But out of all the incredible 3D platform games that I've played and loved since that day, for my money, none of the characters ever controlled quite as perfectly as Mario did in his first 3D outing. Even Sunshine, Galaxy, and Odyssey, all excellent titles, don't have quite the same weight and one-to-one feeling that I get with Mario 64. They feel more like I'm learning the controls and then perfecting movesets to pull off tricks, like perfecting a Tony Hawk's or SSX game, and that can be really cool in itself. In fact, that's the precise reason Nights into Dreams is my favourite game. But in Mario 64, I don't feel like I'm playing Mario, I feel like I actually am Mario. And that is the exact reason why, even though I have replayed that game at least once a year since it came out, I have never thrown the baby penguin off the cliff edge in front of his own mother. Not once. Mind you, I also never locked the butler in the walk-in fridge of Croft Manor. You guys are monsters. So, yeah, I thought I'd never experienced that feeling again. Perhaps it was nostalgia or bias because it was the first 3D platformer that I ever played, or simply the fact that I waited an entire 2 years to play that game, suffering through countless delays while those around me played their new PlayStations. With Donkey Kong Bananza, I've only been waiting a month or so to try it out, and hell, at my age, a month passed in what would have felt like a weekend to the Sam of the mid-90s. But damn, Donkey Kong has smashed it along with everything else. Sure, it's got the elements of games like Mario Odyssey, where there are ever more complicated moves and tricks to master, and this will become a truly acrobatic speedrunning parkour experience in the way that Mario Kart World wants to happen but could never. So it's not a simple or basic moveset, but what it does do is get the basics right. Like, exactly right. Like, the most right of any game in the last 28 years or so. And the fact that it's been that long since the glorious ride home from Toys R Us staring in disbelief at the N64 in my lap while my dad drove us home is insane. My kids are significantly older than I was on that day. Time slips away, and it is precious. So to any young ones listening to this, don't waste it. And I promise that playing Donkey Kong Bananza won't be a waste. This is a once-in-a-generation game, maybe once in a lifetime. It is that good, in my opinion. We could get into the full moveset, but frankly, I want to do a whole video as there's so much to cover that it could take an hour or more breaking it all down. I'll just quickly say that if you have any lingering fears that Pauline's singing or the animal transformations or even the destruction and building mechanics themselves could be unneeded complications or distractions from the core gameplay and become divisive gimmicks like the flood, the second player and Double Dash, the sailing and Wind Waker, bloody hell, people are going to think I hate the GameCube. No, I don't. Again, day one. It's just these things were divisive from the start and not everyone loves them. Or indeed underused and seemingly tacked on everything but the kitchen sink approaches like many of the features of Mario Kart World. Nah, I didn't find that at all. Everything here works well. And as a game dev myself, I really admire how well thought out and polished everything is here. From what I've played so far, this is far more cohesive experience than even Mario Odyssey. There, I said it. I know this is from the same team and Odyssey was a quality game, but I'm from the same Mandela Effect universe as Arlo, and that game was always divisive. With this game, I confidently predict that it will be the best reviewed Nintendo platform game since... what? Super Mario Bros. 3? I'm not even kidding there. Well, that was funny / sad / informative / stupid, wasn't it? Feel free to mentally redact to make that make sense with the clip that you just heard. I don't know what it was. I'm just recording a bumper. But if you enjoyed the clip, please give it a like. If you'd like to hear more, click subscribe, and you can find all the ways to listen to and support the full daily podcast at linktree/dailyswitch2. That's linktr.ee/dailyswitch2. Let's go! Did I sound like I mean that? I do. I really do.